Hello, beautiful people. Welcome to the Live Life Golden Show. This is episode 26. Go get it. This show is all going to be about activating your determination and allowing you to step into the energy fields of what you say you want. So it's a little bit of a follow-up from last show. I wanted to share a little bit. Last show, I had talked about the irritation list. And we had talked about how we have all these things on our list, like our to-do list. It's like never ending, right? And every day we have these things that we don't get checked off. And then they become a little bit of an irritation and they take up a lot of our mental space. They take up a lot of mental capacity because we're always thinking of them in terms of this is stuff I have to do and I'm not getting it done and it becomes frustrating. So I shared last week how there was that one little thing on my irritation list that I was going to get done, and that was a clock in my loft that was telling the wrong time. So hilariously, energetically, apparently, I manifested this and I put it on my show yesterday and totally forgot about it after I said I was going to do it. And then later that evening, I'm sitting watching TV and I look up and the clock is at the right time. And I said to my husband, "Did you change the clock?" And he said, "Yes." So sometimes we can perform things energetically by making a decision to get them done. All of a sudden, the universe brings in some support, some universal forces to connect with you, right? Like that was something I put out there energetically and he connected with it and he got it done. And that's actually my favorite way of creating. Just putting things out there energetically and then watching them unfold and get done and not having to have a lot of action. And I think this is one of the biggest components to universal law that confuses people. It's like, when do I act and when do I allow? There's a balance. There's a balance between those two fields of energy, and it's all based on how we feel. And the truth is, if you are sitting around and hoping and wishing and waiting, that does not activate energy. That is going to keep you in that feeling of stuckness because it just doesn't have a lot of life force behind it. We're going to talk a lot about life force today because it's one of my favorite things to talk about. So, in order for us to have life force, right? What is life force? It's vitality, it's energy, it's going after your dreams, it's going after what you say you want to create in your life. In order to have life force, we have to have desire. And many of those desires, most of our desires, kind of hinge on things happening in our life that are not optimal, that we feel like are not what we want. But it actually forces us many times, life force forces us to get out of our comfort zone and create change. And that's the good part about it, is that change, that momentum, that movement forward, so that we don't get complacent, so that we don't feel bored in life, so that we can feel our creative energies and our creative powers. It's so important and so necessary. So my clock got fixed and that was super cool. So the first thing that we have to talk about is procrastination. I hear this a lot from people. They're procrastinating. And what procrastinating is from a quantum physics field explanation is, it's just a misalignment of energy. So it's allowing yourself to be in a belief system, to believe something about yourself that you are unable to create. So there's not enough creation power and belief power to actually create something. There's also other things that go along with it, not believing you have the energy, not believing that you have the wisdom. All of that stuff goes along with procrastination. And people will say to me so many times, "I don't know why I'm procrastinating." And that puts you in the alignment of confusion. That puts you in the alignment of not getting answers. It puts you in the alignment of the problem. I'm a procrastinator. That's what I do. Is that the identity you want to create from? Because that's why you're procrastinating, because you believe you're a procrastinator. So you have to let go of these false belief systems, these things that you have taken on in your life because of past experiences. Everything is created from right now. And what is created right now has already been. Whew, deep stuff. In order to create the next moment, we have to let go of what we were doing before, what was before. And that's why I say every moment is our opportunity to create. Every day that we step out of bed is a whole new day where we can create something different. And the only reason why we live these cycles over and over again, or this, Groundhog Day over and over again, is because we get out of bed the same way. We get out of bed with the same energy. We get out of bed with the same thoughts. We're thinking about what we were thinking about yesterday. Every Monday, like what kind of energy does Monday have around it? I watched a lot of people shift their Monday energy and it's cool. But how many of us get up and dread Monday? Oh, another week of work, right? Like that dreading energy. How many activities are you wrapping in dread? I see it all the time. And I see people dragging the past. So what they'll do is they'll go, "Oh, I've worked 7 days in a row and I have to work 7 more days." And they just let that mental bullshit pile on top of them, so they cannot be present. They cannot create from the present because they're dragging those past 7 days with them and creating anxiety from the next 7 days of work, right? So there's no presence. There's no deliberate creation. It's just being in this mundane, dragging life around and dreading it. And yuck, that's no way to live. So it's about activating new energies, activating new ideas, being in a different frame of energy when you wake up and get out of bed. I was listening to episode 2 this morning. It was funny. I always listen to my episodes after I do them, because I just want to see if there's any hiccups that I got to fix and anything that's annoying. I like to just look at that because I don't edit. So my only editing is listening to a past show and then cleaning up the next show. You're welcome. So I was listening to episode 2. I just had an inspiration to kind of go back and listen to my older shows. And episode 2 was awesome. It was about manifesting more efficiently. And it was so good. And I talked about the snooze button, right? And like eliminating the snooze button from your life and getting out of bed like a Pop-Tart, like getting out of bed excited for the day, activating your greatest potentials. Because if you get out of bed with that energy, right? Like the snooze button, I was saying, is a mechanism that kind of tells the universe, tells the world, tells ourselves that we don't want to get up. We don't want to face the day. So I don't have a snooze button. I have one alarm. I get up at 4:30. When I did that show, I was getting up at 6:20. So apparently I've upped my game. Now I'm getting up at 4:30 a.m. with the same vigor. I am tired. There's no doubt about it. And I am shifting that. I'm working on that. I'm waking up and, deciding something different, putting in that energy of, I'm embracing this day. I'm embracing my workout. I can do this, like really pumping myself up. It's almost like you got to be your own life coach when you get out of bed. You got to coach your mind into a higher state of frequency so that you can deliberately create your day and decide. If you're letting your mind decide how your day is going to go, good God. It's like letting a bad neighborhood decide how your day is going to go. You've got to take the reins. You've got to take the reins. And you all know meditation is the way to gaining control of that mind, but it's also the awareness. It's waking up in the morning. I used to do this all the time and I kind of stopped, and I probably should start again. Waking up and being thankful. Like, what do I have to be thankful for? Oh, thank you for this day. Like being thankful ahead of time actually aligns you and prepaves the energy for your day. Thank you for this day. Thank you for my smooth ride to work. Thank you for my relationships and the fun that I have, right? You can do that. You can set those intentions, and that's going to help you to take the reins of the day, and it's going to help it to play out in a much more optimal higher frequency. So you got to take control of it. All right. So procrastination, I actually looked up what the meaning of procrastination is in Google. And this was so interesting to me. I love looking this stuff up. It was the action of delaying or postponing something. So as much as we think procrastination is not doing anything, it actually is an action. That kind of blew my mind. It's the act of postponing things. It's the act of delaying things. And when we do that, there's always repercussions. And the repercussions, I'm going to talk about those in a minute, but I want to talk again, I want to talk for a second, like the list of like what procrastination is and what the energy of procrastination is attached to, that we need to detach from if we want to become a more determined and more deliberate creator. So mind chatter is something that really puts things off for us. It talks us out of things. I recently had some dental work done, and I actually had to get a tooth removed, and I have to get a new one. I have to get an implant yuck, yikes. And I put it off for as long as I possibly could. And it was an old root canal that just went sour. And I had to do it. Like, I had to do it. And it was thousands of dollars. And it was just like so many ways I could have talked myself out of it. So I got it done many, many months ago. God, I don't even remember when I got that done. And I have to go back in for the next phase, which is like basically opening it back up again. And I don't even know what. They called it a surgery. So this is what happened. So I made the appointment a couple weeks ago. I had gotten sick and I postponed it, right? Procrastinated about it. No, I was sick. So I actually had a legitimate reason to not go. But then the second time they called to confirm, and they said, okay, your appointment for your surgery is tomorrow. And my mind just went bonkers. And my mind was like, we don't have time for a surgery. We can't do this. There's no way. Like, you've got group coaching, you've got the podcast, you have all this stuff going on. There's no way you can do that tomorrow. So I put it off. Well, guess what? It's been bothering me. Yeah, it's been bothering me a lot. So tomorrow I'm going, I'm making no excuses, and I'm getting it done, and I'm moving forward with this terrible process that just needs to get done, right? Stop thinking about it. Just get the shit done. Unfortunately, there's things in our life that we have to just move forward with, and we got to get them done. And the sooner we get them done, the less pain we're going to have. Yeah, that's a good analogy for dental work. Okay, so it talks you out of things. That's what the mind's mechanism is there for. It is there to keep you safe and to keep you the same. So it's always going to talk you out of things that are out of your comfort zone, that are painful, that are good for you, that are going to cause you to expand and grow. The mind is going to try to talk you out of it, and that's why it's so important to get your mind training in place. I do have a meditation offering to you guys on my website, www.livelifegolden.com. And that is for sale there. That will teach you how to meditate. I have a guided meditation to help relax you. And it's a really good way to even get into a deeper practice if you already have one. So there's no excuses. The energy that you're putting out is you believe you don't have it. You don't have what it takes to perform whatever it is that you're procrastinating it about. So you may be in confusion, you may be in I don't know what to do, you may be in those energies that will cause a lot of slowdown. And that's what procrastination really does. It slows the energy down so that you can't be productive. It puts you in a state of a lower frequency, okay? Because the lower frequency is attached to those thought forms that are keeping you away from it, that are keeping you procrastinating, that are keeping you putting it back on your list every single day. So it's a lower frequency. In order to step out of procrastination, the first thing you have to do is de-identify with it. So always the way that we de-identify with something is we stop saying I am. I am is so powerful. Pay attention to what you are saying I am about. I am late. I am sick. I am broke. I am unhealthy. I am whatever those I am statements are, they are extremely powerful, and they tell your entire body, your entire being, and the universe exactly the way you want to create. So be really careful with those I am statements and start choosing them. Start getting really deliberate about them. A lot of those low level I ams, like I'm not good at this, or I'm not good at this, or what was the one that I used recently in my group, which was kind of hilarious, was I am working on being a tech whiz. I think I said like something like that, a tech expert. And I had a few issues happen. And you know what? It just really enlightened me to the fact that I have some cleanup still to do on the technology end. I'm doing really well. I really am. I have really progressed in the technology end of my life, where I started out being terrified. Like the only thing I could do was email and Facebook for a very long time. And now I can create webinars, I can create digital products, I can do a podcast, I can do a YouTube channel, I can do all of it, but only because I got out of and I worked through some anxiety and I worked through some fear and I overran the mind and the bullshit that was causing an alignment with not being good at something. That's all it is, you guys. Like we have wisdom, like divine wisdom. We have access to divine wisdom always expressing through us when we decide we do, when we drop in, when we ask, when we get in a state of assistance, asking for help, asking for assistance, believing that it's going to be there, trusting that you're going to have the answers. Anytime we have anxiety about something new that we're about to do, it's always because we have a belief that we're not smart enough, that we're not going to have the answers, that we're not going to know what to do. And that's a childhood trauma from like kindergarten or first grade when we didn't have the answers, right? Like when the teacher called on us and we didn't have the answer, like that's what that's attached to. And there could be something even more traumatic that happened to you and you didn't have the answer. And so that trauma needs to be cleared up. So starting new things is what creates the expansion and growth and healing of that wound, healing of that energy, so that you can become a deliberate creator. So you can actually get a little determination in your life and start really activating the energy that's going to allow you to step into the identity of what you say you want to be. Awesome. All right. So understand the detriment that listening and acting from procrastination has done for you. Really think about that. So, the things that you've procrastinated about, let's just take like working out and eating healthy, right? You've procrastinated about that for a long time. What has that done for you? I'm sure you have created some muscle loss. I'm sure that you maybe have taken on some weight, some heavy weight. I'm sure that you may even have some joint issues or some, some inflammation, some body problems. Like, because if you're not in tune with your nutrition and you're just taking in a lot of junk food or alcohol or like low level substances, what detriment has that played in your life? Or what detriment has living in your life sucking job? What has that done for your life? Has it created stress? Has it created not being able to sleep? Has it created an unhappiness that goes from Monday to Friday, and then on Saturday and Sunday you try to grasp some joy? What is the detriment of your procrastination and listening to the mind talk you out of the shit you say you want to do? What's the detriment? Because there is one. There absolutely is one to every single thing that you have on your list that you want to do, that you say all the time, I should do this, I should do this, I should do this. First of all, you're shoulding on yourself. And second of all, you are creating a life experience that is less than. It's less than joyful. It's less than creating that life force, right? Like that life force is like slow or it goes forward and then it pulls back, right? Like, we take those steps forward and then we pull back because we get afraid. There's a detriment, and that detriment is causing you to just have less joy. So, in order to, and then it takes up mental space. So think about this for a minute. Think about all of the mental capacity that you give to these things that you're not getting done. Like how many times you think about it and how many times you go, I had a really like a small thing, but this is like something that gets on my nerves. So my daughter, okay, she has not been awesome about laundry. Like, and I don't get involved with her laundry. It's in her room, whatever. But she buys things from thrift stores that have to be hand washed. And then she puts them in my laundry thing. And then they sit there for a really long time until I either A, make her do it, or I just get tired of it and I just do it myself. So she had 3 items in there that have been sitting in there for way too long, probably like 2 months. And it activated a thing in me where it's like, I need to have a conversation with her about buying things that are hand washed, because she's not there yet. Like I have a lot of hand wash stuff and I'm like cool about doing it and I just get it done. But for her, she's just not there. So if laundry's not your strong point, then maybe don't buy things that are going to cause you to have to like hand wash. So today I just looked at them and I was like, I'm washing these things. Like I'm just getting it done, right? Like it takes me a few minutes each thing. Now they're hanging, they're clean, they're outside, they're drying. And now every single time I go to my laundry basket, which is on top of my dryer, I don't have that irritation. I don't have that, right? Right? So this is what I'm talking about. So now I have the mental capacity for other things. I have the mental capacity to get other things done. I have room. I have space for new ideas. I have energy for new ideas because I'm not thinking about that shit that's getting on my nerves when I look at that laundry basket, like, I don't know, 20, 30 times a day I walk by it, you know? So you free up mental space that allows new ideas to come. How cool is that? So it creates tension, it separates you from what you say you want. So split energy is always when we have something in our awareness that we want to accomplish, that we want to get done, and we don't have the belief or the activation of energy towards it. We just sit there and we just procrastinate and we don't allow and we don't activate. We just sit in that low level of misery about it, right? That creates tension. That creates a feeling of never being able to get things done. That creates overwhelmment. Have you ever been overwhelmed by your to-do list? Yes, right? That's what overwhelmment is. It's taking on this mind chatter about all the things, right? And as soon as you start going down the road of, as soon as you turn into that neighborhood of overwhelmment, then everything is going to jump out into the street. You know, the 800 things that are on your to-do list that you're not getting done are going to jump out into the street, and you're driving over them, and you're driving yourself crazy, actually. Okay, so how do we create from the energy of getting it? So I love Nike saying just do it. I love that saying, just do it. Like, that is so a foundation of my life, to get shit done, like to just go and do what I say I want to do. I'm not going to get political on here, but I don't love Nike anymore. I actually have stopped buying their products, and I feel like there's a very un-American energy in there. When I found out that they took the American flags off the bottom of a shoe because of something that an athlete said, I just was like, you know what, Nike, I have used you for a really long time, and I am so the fiber of America. Like, I am such an American that I'm just not going to purchase your stuff anymore, and I'm not going to use your damn slogan. So that's why I'm changing it to getting it, because we're going to go get it. We're going to go get it, because sometimes doing it feels like too much. Getting it feels a little different, right? Like, getting it. I'm going to get it. I'm going to go get it. Right? Like, that's the energy when I go to the gym. I'm like, I'm going to go get her done, right? Like, I'm going to go in there and I'm going to kill it. And when you have that energy behind you during any activity, you are changing the way that activity happens for you. You are changing the energy that you wrap around it. So your workout's going to be stronger. Whatever you're doing is going to have more life force involved in it. So it's going to be better. It's going to be so much better. Okay, so we always begin with a desire, right? So we have a desire, whether it's you want to get in shape, whether it's you want to eat better, whether it's you want a new job, you want a new career, you want more excitement. You want more excitement in your life? Oh my God, you got to go create it. You got to create it. I'm recently, oh my gosh, I got to talk about this. This is hilarious. Listen to this. So I had a beautiful cousin come into town, and my cousin and I have been kind of disconnected. I'm disconnected from my family, and I got disconnected from most of my cousins. And she is the one cousin who has always reached out to me, who has always given me love. And we were super, super close when we were kids. So it makes sense that we're like connecting back together. And thank you, Facebook, for that. I mean, Facebook is good for something, right? So, so she came into town, and we had dinner with her and her husband, and we had a blast. Like, we had so much fun catching up. And, you know, there's something about family that just feels so good. You know, people that you grew up with that love you, like the hug we gave each other was just like so intense and beautiful. So, so her and her husband invited me to laughter yoga. They had got invited to this laughter yoga, and I had seen this thing online, and I was like, oh God, that sounds really awkward. But because she invited me, and because I have an awesome friend who will always say yes to me, I texted my friend, and it was Fun Friday. So like, what's a better way to start Fun Friday than with laughter yoga, right? So, so we meet down on the beach in Laguna, and it's this group of people, and they meet every single day. I can't believe they meet every single day. This was such a trip. This was probably one of the silliest things we have ever done, and it was really fun, and I had some very precious moments from it. But so we get down there, and there's rules. There's rules in laughter yoga, and it's not actually, it has nothing to do with yoga whatsoever. It's really just about laughter. and you weren't allowed to talk, which was strange. And because the whole idea was to like stay out of your head and to stay in your silliness and to stay in that like childlike play. Anytime you can get yourself in childlike play, I love to do this with my grandbaby. Oh my goodness. Anytime you can get in a little kid's world, like you are activating life force because it's just creativity and it's fun and it's silliness and it's letting go of your judgments and your worries about what anybody thinks. So I'm very blessed that I'm in a point in my life where I don't care what people think and I like to be really silly and I like to be really creative. So my friend also is there, but there were some she had a few issues when she thought people were videoing us. So she's like, I don't want to show up on social media doing this insane shit, but I don't care. So like the first activity we were supposed to do is like pretend we were walking a dog or the dog was walking us, and you're supposed to do like silly stuff. And we laughed so hard, and there were a lot of fun and silly things. Like we had a stick, we had to do something with a stick. So I was like pretending I was like smoking it, and somebody else was pretending to pick their nose. I mean, it was just funny, and I loved the creative part of it. That was super, super fun. And I love just kind of letting go of life, just letting go of worries, letting go of judgments, just being in that element of laughter and activating that energy. And afterwards, oh my goodness. So after the whole thing was over, we laid down on this parachute, like head to head, and I started laughing and I was looking up at the sky and I was like, somebody pinched me. Like, am I awake? Like, is this really happening? It was so bizarre. And my cousin pinched me and she goes, you're awake. And we looked at each other and we started laughing so hard. I'm going to cry. It was like we were little girls again. And I flashed back to the way we used to do that as kids. And we would just laugh and laugh and laugh. And it was very much a precious moment. And I'm so grateful for it. But you're laying there and you go into a little bit of a meditation for a couple of minutes and you can feel the activation of energy. You can feel it's like palpable that what that laughter does and floods your body with this energy. So that's my new thing I'm moving into. I've been in this for a few years, but I'm kind of getting back to it, is just like saying yes to stuff. Just saying yes to stuff. Like, did I want to do laughter yoga? I don't know. I definitely could have talked myself out of it. In fact, we had a few issues that morning with my friend's dog and we almost didn't make it and we were a little bit late, but we weren't late. We weren't late. We were like, let's just go. We'll just, and we ended up being right on time, of course, right? Because that's the belief I have. So saying yes to things and activating new energy. So I just got invited to a cooking wine night or something. And I invited my friend and she doesn't cook and she doesn't drink wine. And she was like, oh, I don't know. And I was like, why not? Right? Like, I think we have to start asking ourselves, why not? Like, what's our choice? Stay home and watch TV or go to this thing, meet people, laugh, have experiences, right? Like we've got to experience more life. And I think if this past year has taught us anything, it's like, if we don't live life, it's just passing us by, right? Live life golden. Let's go. Like, let's live life. Let's do what we say we want to do. Let's live and create the way we say we want to create. And let's step into more movement, more activation of energy. So I highly recommend laughter yoga. And I actually think that they are all over the world. So just look them up. I think it's just laughter yoga. You can Google it because they have meetup groups all over the place. And these are super, let's see, what word do I want to use? Interesting people. I would not say these are people at the top of their joy. I don't know if it's like, going and doing that every day, I think has a different energy than just popping in every once in a while. I didn't like the rules. I'm not a big rule person. I can be a rule follower, but I think when it comes to something like laughter yoga, if you can say something and tell a funny joke, why not up level the laughter? That's just me. That's just me. It's just the way I think. Okay. So the first thing you have is your desire, right? Like your desire to do something. The second thing you have to do is make a decision about it. Like, no longer am I going to wake up every day and wish and hope and pray that I'm going to go exercise. I'm going to get up and I'm going to go get it done. I'm going to go get her done, because all of this mental crap, all of this mental capacity that I am creating, separating myself from what I actually want to be, is keeping me at a less than greater potential, a less than joyful potential. So then the next thing you have to do is you have to stop thinking about it, because once you make a solid decision, you cannot entertain thoughts that go against it. So if I wake up in the morning, and I'm very blessed right now because my husband is going with me. So last night I actually ate something and I think there was gluten in it. I'm not doing good with gluten right now, and my stomach was killing me until like 12:30. So I very easily could have blown off the gym this morning, right? So like the first thing I think of is like, oh, I was up all night. But then I have my husband next to me and he's going. Like, he's already signed up for the class. He doesn't question it. He's really good about that. So I have the potential to go at different times during the day, but if he's going, I'm going with him. That's my decision that I've made, and it works really well for us. So I got up and I'm so glad I did. I had an amazing workout. We killed it together and it was fantastic. And I'm so glad that I didn't let my mind talk me out of it. So you've got to interrupt those thoughts. You got to not drive. If you do drive into that bad neighborhood, you got to drive out and you got to go, no, I made a decision. This goes with anything. If you are trying to let go of an addiction, if you are trying to start something new, your mind is going to kick up against you. It's going to kick up against you. And if you're trying to let go of a substance, it takes only 3 days. 3 days. That's it, for your cells to no longer need that substance. They readjust in 3 days. So anything that comes after those 3 days, the cravings, the mind chatter, all of that stuff is all up here. It's all in your mind and it can be stopped. And a craving only lasts a couple of minutes. So if you can get yourself distracted, go outside, take a walk. One thing I used to do when I was working on my alcohol thing was say, not right now, not right now, not doing it right now. So, addictions are something that we've got a lot of beliefs around. We've got a lot of beliefs around them. And this is always a fascinating thing to me. It's like, you already know what your life is like with that substance. Don't you want to know what it's like without it? Maybe there's new energies. Maybe there's new people. Maybe there's new life at force for you to experience if you just let this thing go. So just interrupting a few minutes of a thought pattern. And before you know it, if you do that enough times, it's time to go to bed. So that's how you do that with addictions. When it comes to starting something new, you really just got to move. You got to go get it. You got to go activate the energy towards it and do something towards it. And the second you think about it, act. That's a big thing. That's something I've been practicing a lot lately, about the little minutiae. So those little irritation lists. As soon as I think of something, I do it. Like, for instance, we need to get our garage door fixed, and they came out like 2.5 weeks ago. The second I thought about it today, I called them. I've got some pods in my palm trees that annoy my neighbor because they drop in her yard. As soon as I thought of it, I called. So it's like, as soon as you think about it, just do it. And then it allows you to free up a lot of your mental capacity, a lot of your mental space that you are wasting on stuff that you should be doing, that is on that list every single day, that can get quite annoying. Watch the mind, because the mind is super crafty. That chatter will get you. You got to be really, really aware. So this is what happens when you do work from this energy field, when you work from determination, when you work from getting things done, when you get her done. This is what happens. After each task that you fulfill, you will feel a raise in your vibration. I see it. I see it with people all the time, especially people that own their own businesses. And I definitely feel this way owning my own business. When I get things done, like the feeling of production and progress and pride, right? Like, I hope you do this. I hope you do this. Oftentimes with manifestation and getting things done in our life, we don't give ourselves enough credit. We don't allow ourselves to kind of bask in the manifestation fulfillment, or bask in getting things done. Like, today was a super great day and I got a lot of things done and I'm super proud of myself. Who does that? Let's do that. That's super cool, right? I feel so good. I know my daughter does this. She's a sober coach. She's coaching people on how to give up alcohol. And I know when she gets her videos completed and she gets things done, like she feels great. And I can tell she feels really good instead of sitting in that energy of, oh, I got nothing done today, right? Feels so much better. It's an upliftment of your energy field. It is a raising of your vibration. It's a beautiful, beautiful thing. So let's talk about identity creation a little bit. I know I talked about this last week, but identity creation is a solid practice and something that will really significantly change your life if you can really grasp these principles. So ask yourself, what am I keeping myself from? What am I telling myself on a daily basis that I want to do that I'm not getting done? And how can I take a step toward it? How can I create from it? How can I activate more energy of it? Like, have you told yourself forever that you want to go to Hawaii? Right? Well, put some pictures up of Hawaii. Start contemplating Hawaii. Start visualizing yourself in Hawaii. Write it down. Set a date. Set a date for 2 years. You can save up enough money to go to Hawaii 2 years from now. Put a plan together. Put an action plan together, because nothing happens until we do that. When we were working with our energy healer before we moved to California, she said that to me. And she said, you guys you're flopping around over there. You're waiting on your house to be foreclosed on. You're sitting in this energy of waiting and you're not activating energy. You've got to put a plan together. And it wasn't until we booked plane tickets and we made a solid decision and we started selling our stuff that things really started to move in the direction of our dreams. And we would have never done that if we had kept waiting. Eventually I think we would have, because we're creators. We're powerful creators and we know it. So I talked about the split energy. Understand split energy. Am I aligned on this thing? Is my beliefs, my feelings, and my knowing, is that all in the place of creating this thing I say I want? Or am I in a lot of fear? Am I in a lot of anxiety? Am I talking myself out of it all the time? That's split energy. That's like telling yourself you want something and then it's splitting yourself in half, and you're over here wishing and hoping and praying, and your dream is over here calling to you, frustrating you, and creating energies of misery. So what can I do towards it? How can I activate more of it? Oh, I can do this, and I can listen to a visualization, and I can write it down, and I can put it on the calendar, and I can see myself there, and I can try to find people who live there. I think I shared with you guys one of those shows that we want to go to the Exuma Bahamas. Like, that's my new place that I want to go to. Like, I'm activating energy towards Exuma Bahamas. And then I saw a friend on Facebook who was there. And then my husband looked on Facebook and there's all these groups. So now we're in groups. So on my Facebook feed, there are people talking about Exuma Bahamas. Well, every single day, that's a reminder to me. Oh, yeah, I want to go there. And they're putting pictures up and the beautiful blue water. And I'm seeing myself there. So before you know it, I'm going to be there. You're going to see pictures of me in the Bahamas. Maybe I'll do a show from there. We'll see. So what can I do to activate more of it? Can I find a group on Facebook? Can I ask around? Can I inquire? Can I start more conversations about it? And before you know it, you're going to be bumping into people that are from where you want to go or doing what you want to do. The universe will activate. The universe will partner with you and put really cool things in your experience to activate this for you. And you can't make this shit up. Like, what happens and what manifests from that energy is super, super cool. Super cool. Writing it down, because writing is the strongest form of focus. And then activating from your promises that you make to yourself. Make a promise to yourself and have integrity with your word. So many of us have integrity for other people. We have integrity for our word with other people. We have accountability for other people. If we know that we have a partner that's going to the gym, we won't let our partner down, but we certainly will let ourselves down. So if you can't keep promises to yourself, who can you keep them to? A lot of keeping promises to yourself is about your worthiness. It's about you being worth it. It's about you stepping forward into the identity of who you say you want to be. I have an episode called You Are Worthy. I highly recommend you listen to it. And if you've listened to it, listen to it again. Accountability partners are great. They're definitely great. I love the idea of having somebody to check in with, and I am always really accountable when I do that, but I am practicing a lot more being accountable to myself. because I recognize how that connects me and aligns me to the energy of what I want to create. Moving towards is activating the energy. So, how can I move towards it? There's power in visualizing, there's power in seeing myself there, there's power in watching programs about it. There's power in putting more and more energy in your field about it. And what are you giving to it? So I would say this about everything in your life. What energy are you giving to everything in your life? Because whatever energy you are giving out, it's what you're getting back. So what energy are you wrapping around your job every day? What energy are you wrapping around your car, your kids, your spouse, your boss? What energy are you sending out? Because everything is energy. And whether you like it or not, everyone feels energy. So people are going to reflect what you're sending them, what you're giving out. So are you super loving and compassionate and joyful? Because if you are, you're going to meet more people like that. If you're super excited about work, work's going to give you more reasons to be excited about it, right? So you've got to activate that life force energy in order to feel more of it, in order to create that flow in your life where you're like, whoo, I'm feeling joy and I'm feeling more joy and holy cow, there's more joy. Like it happens. It happens for me a lot. I'll be in a super joy-filled state and then all of a sudden something will top it and I'll go, "Wow. I didn't even know you could top that. I was already so joyful, but it's because I'm in the alignment of joy that more joy can come." There was a time my husband and I had this was really interesting. I always wanted to go like up the PCH, like through LA, up through the PCH. And my husband like hates LA. Like he wants nothing to do with it. He doesn't want to deal with it. And I let it go. I just let it go. I was talking to some girlfriends. I'm like, yeah, we should all do that. So I let it go because I was thinking I was going to do it with them. And that weekend, we woke up in the morning and my husband was like, hey, you want to just like drive up the PCH and go to lunch in Santa Barbara? And I was like, what? Like I did that. I knew I did that. I shifted the energy. And then he was like, let's go. Let's go on an adventure. So we get up, we're driving up the PCH. We have the most amazing day. Santa Barbara's beautiful. It's like a 2.5 hour drive. And there wasn't a lot of traffic. This was a few months ago. And it was just gorgeous. The weather was perfect. Every meal we had, everything we did, it was like an activation of more and more energy of beauty and joy and fun and love. So we're on our way home and my husband pulls off on the side of the PCH and he's like, we have not put our feet in the sand today. Like we should just go for a walk on the beach. I'm like, awesome. And it's like right around sunset time, like right before sunset. And as we're walking, there's these dolphins that all of a sudden, like this huge pod of dolphins starts jumping up out of the water. And they are literally like 20 feet from us. They were so close. And if the water wasn't so cold, we probably would have jumped in. It was like making my head explode. So much joy. Like it topping that list. And this can happen for you if you put yourself in the alignment of joy and you stop letting your mind create your life. You stop creating your life by default and by that mind chatter, and you start quieting the mind and deciding how your life is going to be, activating through determination and going after what you truly want to live. So when we start changing the way we think and feel about things, the way that things come to us and the things that happen change. Perception is everything. So if we can get above things, if we can get a higher perspective, if we can wrap things in a blanket of love and joy, if we can move through life with a higher frequency state, right? Remember, our state is our mood. It's how we feel. It's how we wake up every day. It's what we decide every day. If we can do that, what's going to happen is you're going to see life unfolding in a lot of magic and a lot of miracles, and you're going to get excited about it and you're going to be aware of it. That's the biggest thing, is like not missing this stuff that's happening all around you that goes, oh, wow. That's amazing. Oh, that's a miracle. The other day, my girlfriend and I it was Fun Friday, and Fun Friday was just, it was the top, like the top. It was like everything that we love to do and more. And we were just leaving the beach, and all throughout the day, it was so funny. I was driving and I was going to go park. And so we're looking for parking, and you're going down side streets. So you kind of have to, you got to go fast if you see a spot. And I didn't even see the spot, but my arm just like went crazy. Like I just pulled into this road really fast and boom, there was a spot. And I pull up to the spot, and my friend has been having a lot of things go on with angels. And she's been calling on them a lot because she's had some issues with just needing them to support her family. And as soon as she opened the door, there was a feather. And I was like, I was like a force pulled me into that car spot. And from that moment on, we saw 8 feathers that day. And, you can say whatever you want to say. It's like, that's what that meaning is to us, is that there's angels guiding us and supporting us. You could say it's a dirty seagull. For us, it's an angel. So it's perception. It's what we decide to believe about it that actually creates it. And I believe it's what tuned us into the frequency to see so many of them and to raise our frequency every time we saw them, to get excited, to feel joy, to be like, yes, we're not alone. Yes, things are happening, right? Love it. So many things that we can do that with. So if you want to align your energies with what you say you want to create, these are the ways to do it. So you got to have a meditation practice. You got to quiet that mind. You've got to gain control. It's a practice. You got to gain control over that mind chatter. And in the beginning, it kicks up. So you've really got to practice. You really got to set a firm determination and intention to sit down every day for 15 to 20 minutes, at, like, without a doubt. And you can do guided. I don't have a problem with that. You can purchase mine on my website. It's great. Good stuff. Good stuff. So do that first every single day. And then decide what you want to do. Decide, like, take something in your life that you've been playing with, that you've been wanting to get accomplished. It can be small. It could be washing the laundry. It could be something very small, just something that's been on your list that's been, creating blocks in your mental capacity. So just start with something small and get it done. Get her done. And then as you start formulating towards bigger things, towards your dreams, towards, a healthier lifestyle, whatever that is, I can promise you that if you commit to something, you will have an activation of infinite potential and divine intelligence. You will, because you're asking for it, because you're putting yourself in the energy of, I'm doing this. And whenever you do that, it's like placing your order with Amazon. Place your order with the universe. Tell the universe what you want. Tell God what you want. Tell source what you want, whatever you like to call it. It activates energy when you make a solid decision, and then you start moving towards it. You start activating energy towards it. It is so freaking cool. And it is part of this wave, this revolution of becoming a powerful creator. And that's what I'm teaching. That's what I'm in love with. That's what I'm doing. Being a master manifester, deciding what I want is going to happen in my life, activating the energy, tuning out all the bullshit that takes me away from what I want to produce. Good one? Can you do that? Can you do that? Can you turn the news off? Can you turn off the Facebook feed? Can you turn off all those things that are driving you absolutely nuts? Because if you can turn those off, you can tune your frequency into something higher, and then you're going to have the mental capacity to get these things accomplished. And once you get them accomplished, whoo, the basking that happens, the pride that happens, the life force that happens. And then it's just like this snowball of creativity. Then you just keep getting more ideas, and then you want to do more things. And then, and then life becomes something very joyful and a lot less boring and monotonous, right? Like, it's so easy for us to step into monotony. I think that's why probably many of us activate, an unhealthy relationship with alcohol and substances, because we're bored. We want to change our state. We want to feel something different. And you can do that in a much healthier way by, creating activities, saying yes to things, doing different things. Doing different things actually activates different neural pathways in your brain and will keep you younger. Many times people who suffer from like Alzheimer and dementia, they've been alone. They haven't been talking to people. I had a grandmother who lived in a trailer by herself, and I swear that was the issue. No one talked to her. No one activated energy from her. And so her life force just dulled and became so dull that she lost touch. She actually kind of started to step into a different world because this one was no fun anymore. Are you having fun? Are ya? Let's have some fun, people. All right. So let's get rid of procrastinating. Let's stop doing that. It's an action. So anytime you procrastinate, anytime you delay something, anytime you put something off, you are acting from the energy of procrastination, and you're just putting off the inevitable, just like my dental thing. Right? When you decide, just like I did with the clock, I made a firm decision that day that clock was getting changed. I didn't even have to do it. It changed. But it's about activating the energy force, activating the life force, and then taking the steps towards it. So I think my step towards that was just telling you guys about it, just sharing that I was going to do it. That was enough of a step. Sometimes that's all the universe needs to pick it up, right? That's all it needs. We don't have to be trying so hard. That's the other piece of this is determination is not about trying so hard. I freaking hate the word trying. Whenever anyone says, I'll try, I'm like, you're not going to do it. Because the energy of try is fail. It's inviting in failure. So that's why I say we're getting it. I'm not saying we're trying to do it. I'm not saying we're trying to go get it. I'm saying we're getting it. So get rid of that if it's in your vocabulary, that try. And if you want to activate energy in your life, stop feeling like you're trying. Stop feeling like, oh, I'm going to try it to see if it works. I'm going to try to do this. I'm going to try to work out. Guys, that is not the energy of determination. The energy of determination is not pushing. It's not making things happen. It's getting in the flow of life force. It's making decisions and it's acting towards them, but not through desperation, through intuition. So when you act from your intuition, which means you've got a mind training practice, you've got a meditation practice, you're listening within, you're doing the things that feel good to you, you're listening. You're listening, you're looking, you're listening for the signs. And then you're stepping from there, not from desperation, not from I have to make this thing happen. Because when you act from desperation, you actually kind of cut off your partnership with the universe because you have the energy of if it's to be, it's up to me. And so it's not a co-creative dance. It's not a co-creative partnership. So there's a very interesting balance between allowing, receiving, and acting. But there is a very important component in acting, in putting some action forward, doing the things you say you want to do, keeping the promises to yourself. Super duper important. All right, that is my show for today. I'm trying to think if there's anything else that I need to share with you. I have closed my group. I'm super excited for the women that have come on board with me this time. It's freaking amazing. It's the most amazing work I think I have ever done in my life. I will be opening a new group. If you are interested, please let me know now because it's been going pretty fast, and I want to open up to these transformation calls a little sooner so that I am not so, it's a lot of energy in a very short amount of time. And I'm closing out these groups pretty fast now. So if you're interested in my next group, I will make a decision. Here we go, calling myself to the table again. I will make a decision within the next coming days on when the next date of the next group will launch. Because I think that I can, no, I don't think, I know that I can do 2 of these groups at once. I just have to, I've got to navigate that. So I have to figure out exactly, because I want to make sure that I give the proper energy to everything, and energy release work and the work that I'm doing it's pretty intense. So I want to make sure that I am at the most valuable to people. So I will let you know when I'm about to launch the next one. I know I had a couple of people that were interested in the last one that didn't get in. So please let me know, because I'm going to really firm that up and have that group set up before it actually launches. That would be good. I actually had a lady I did a session with, and she joined that day and it started that day. So that's not optimal. I like people to have a little time to consider and to breathe through, but it was a hell yes for her, and that's good for her. Good for her. All right. I love you all. You can find my website, livelifegolden.com. I'm doing a lot of work on that website, so I'm very proud of it. There's going to be a lot of new things coming. I did a photo shoot and a video shoot the other day. That was really fun with an awesome media company. And so we're going to have a lot of stuff launching, and I'm really excited about that. New products coming, new digital products coming, and new ways that you can learn from my teachings and benefit from the stuff that I am sharing and I am living, and I am really excited about. All right, I love you all. Peace.